Hello and welcome to week 4 of my EMEA pick'ems. Um, I will say so far, obviously my first 2 weeks I was almost flawless. I had one wrong, I'm pretty sure, yeah, which was Team Liquid's mates games. But man, I got humbled this week. Not gonna lie. I mean, Team Liquid beat Foot, which honestly I would probably have picked that if it wasn't so many people who were so high on Foot. I wasn't that high on Foot, but I was like, with so many people being so high on Foot, there's got to be something I'm not seeing. So I'm gonna pick Foot, and then obviously they got absolutely destroyed. And then I picked Team. I was still high on Team Vitality because they still kept it close against Fnatic, and I think Fnatic just looked so good. But Team Heretics kind of just beat their asses to shit, and I think Team Vitality are looking in shambles right now. And then mates, I don't know. I thought they'd look better than what they did. In case he kind of just destroyed them. So that's on me. But going into week 4, there are some interesting games. Definitely some interesting games. Now, first game shouldn't be that interesting, but there are some storylines you could definitely draw here. I mean, Team Vitality are currently 1-2. Like, that's something I don't think anybody ever expected, right? They won their first game with only dropping a total of 11 rounds over 2 maps. Like, they looked so good. They looked so back. And then they lose to Fnatic. But we're like, okay, but it was a close game, you know. Fnatic kept it close. Vitality kept it close. Like it was a close game. So 1-1, fine. But they should be Team Heretic still, right? Right? Surely, surely. And then they lost 2-0, and it wasn't close. And at this point, you're like, ooh, it's looking shaky. But at the same time, they're playing Apex. Come on. I could see it being a 2-1. I could. I could see Apex winning a map. But if Team Vitality doesn't win that game, there is something seriously wrong. Like something that needs to be addressed. Now, Team Liquid Koi, there aren't really many storylines to line up here, I don't think. As I think, seriously, there are just 5 teams that are remotely interesting in that group, and Koi is not one of them. I mean, sure, they got a map over mates, but also at the same time, that was in kickoff, and so far, they've not won a single map. And Team Liquid, after having a rough first week, have came back and looked stronger than ever. So I don't think that's going to be a close game whatsoever. Now, this one is really interesting, actually. Gentlemates versus BBL, because BBL obviously 2-0 Koi this week. But they got kind of shit on by Team Liquid the week earlier, right? Now, Gentlemates beat Team Liquid, then lost a close game to Foot, and then got absolutely shit stomped by KC. Especially in that Pearl, obviously. Sure, it was 14-12 on one map, but 13-2 on the next. It is one of those games that could go to gentlemates. It genuinely could go to gentlemates. But personally, oh, it's a tough one, man. It really is. Okay, no, I'm not gonna go. It's gonna be BBL. I think BBL are gonna close that game out, and I don't think it should be that uncomfortable for them. Now, we got another pretty uninteresting game, I think. As Fnatic are playing Giants. And well, Fnatic just pretty comfortably beat Apex. Sure, there was one close map on Split, but Fnatic kind of played a bit iffy on that map, and I still don't really understand why they're picking it because it always manages to go to OT, and it always manages to be a super close game, and I feel like having that as your map pick is kind of risky. Let's just say that. But yeah, obviously their load just looked incredible, and still looked pretty comfortable at the end of the day. And considering Giants have not won a game yet, And sure, they won split against Team Heretics 13-11. But at the same time, the week after, they got 13-0 on split. So I'm not so sure if their split is that good. And otherwise, they won on Fracture once, and that's about it. I just don't see them winning that game in any sense of the word, like at all. I just don't see it. I just don't. I can't see them winning that game. I'm sorry, Giants. They're gonna keep them being bottom of the group, and I don't think it's gonna be. Now, going into the next game, it's a really interesting one because we have a KC that, although they 2-0 mates and 2-0 Koi the last two games, somehow both games have actually ended with a 14-12 on one map and then a 13-2 on another, which is pretty interesting. But also before that, they lost to BBL, right? But at the same time, Foot had looked really good, right? They looked really good so far, and then just had an absolutely terrible performance. Now, it's difficult because Team Liquid, they'd look really good in that game. But also, Foot looked really bad in that game. So the question then becomes, do I think KC is good enough to beat this Foot team? Because KC have only beaten Koi and Mates. And those are arguably the two worst teams in the group. And they lost to BBL in a close series. I mean, yeah, arguably they've played the three easiest teams in that group. I'm gonna pick Foot here still. I trust that they'll come back and be better. But it's gonna be an interesting one. Now, Team Heretics should beat Navi. Um, I know Navi has had some solid performances, but at the same time, the performances they had was two pretty close games. Okay, maybe Giants is a bit of a stretch to call it close, but two games that went to three maps against the two worst teams in the region. So I'm not that confident, and considering Team Heretics just absolutely shit stomped Vitality. And sure, they didn't look that amazing against Giants and Apex. But even then, like the Giants game, they should have 2-0. They just kind of fucked it up. And then I guess Apex, yeah, like their split just was the biggest choke ever, and then they closed it out eventually. And then against Apex, they just kind of completely shit themselves on Ascent against the double Senti, and then beat them on split and beat them on Icebox pretty comfortably. So, and then after that, obviously, they beat Vitality 2-0 in a pretty comfortable fashion as well. So I just see them beating Navi, personally. But yeah, so that should be it. That should be my pick'ems. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.